From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday here on LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check of 2021 update today. Is the recon happening or not happening? Breaking news as no less than a dozen legislators say they're adding items to the recon and there's major gaps. This is huge and this is great for us. Breaking details about a brotherhood between Ron Clay and the chief of staff to the president and Pramila. Whoa, this is big, as the price is $1.75, but actually could be going higher. What's happening? Breaking news at noontime. Then, the latest details as programs going in, programs are going out. Guess what? More programs could be added across the board. And this is as the president is overseas in Rome. We never saw this happening. Then we have student loan debt. More debt could be forgiven. Which debts could be forgiven? And then the big money of this stimulus coming across the board. But guess what? We're not done there yet. There is other money that could be coming from this stimulus right after there. Legislators go back into session on Monday, but right today, they are talking out to press saying they're adding provisions in there. It's a big, fluid situation, a lot of breaking news. The only thing clear is don't answer your door if someone comes dressed as Joe Manchin or Kristen Sinema for Halloween. It may be the real thing, you never know, unless you get them to vote on something before they take your candy. It's a big Halloween noontime broadcast. I'm here, you're here, and so is everything except the bacon. And don't answer the door if the bacon comes, because it's fake bacon. This is Noontime LALATE. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day and I hope the weather is good where you are. It got chilly here in Southern California. It was very, very hot yesterday, but a deal may have looked like it happened on Thursday, but it hasn't happened. Why? And this is great news for you because now those gaps are being added in with more money across the board. A lot of breaking details as the chief of staff and Pramila work together to block the roads and bridges. Who? Yes, this is breaking news at noontime. You haven't heard this before from this channel at noontime. The price is right, 1.75, but guess what? We could be going higher. The program's in, program's out. Guess what? Now a dozen legislators saying there's major gaps in this recon and they need to fill it in there. Then we'll be looking over to that student loan debt. More debt could be forgiven as the president has offered $10,000. Will the Democrats take it? And then this stimulus right behind this. It's great because you're going to get a 5.9% raise of your benefits. But guess what? More could be coming behind that as well. I have exclusive details. I have breaking news. There's a lot happening. I would never have expected so much of a surprise on the weekend, except if Nancy came dressed as Mitch McConnell for Halloween. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 200,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Coming up next is the 1 o'clock Afternoons LA. This video will take you automatically there. And then the 3 o'clock Afternoons LA is totally new this afternoon. Let's go right into this recon. It passed the subcommittee several weeks ago with 3 clusters and 3 add-ons ever since. We're going to go over the status of those 3 clusters right now, but what's important to remember is that this recon, still at a smaller price point of $1.75 at the moment, still pays you upwards of about $15,000. This is huge. If you're a single individual, if you're a person on disabilities, if you're not, with children, without children, red state, blue states, this is money for you across the board. Let's go over all the clusters of the checks and let's go over the status of them. Remember, at the time of this recording, if I say in or out, it means today. Doesn't mean a lifetime, doesn't mean permanent. It's a very fluid situation. Let me tell you the details. And stay with me later in this video. I have seen some of my notes where the numbers have changed. I thought they were the same. Yeah, they're getting better. So stay with me. I'm going to go over the detail later. Hazard pay, earned income tax credit, spanning for 1 year. Good. Elder care, $4,000 a year. Yeah, they got that in there is good. Then the $4,000 of care for young children survived as well. The money for the Pell Grant survived, making it tax-free now, the Pell Grant, an additional $550. And then the money to repair your home if a low-income community, they got that in there as well. That is huge across the board. The CTC, the child tax credit, broadened the eligibility for 1 year for $3,600 or $3,000. But stay with me. In this video, I'm going to show you maybe the number on this one changed. Very fascinating. New at noontime. Then the money for bikes, cars, and trucks, all electric, all U.S. auto manufacturers survived. It's not actually funding for it. It's something that existed back pre-Trump. They're just doing another 10 years. All U.S. auto manufactured. There you go. Good news on that. Everything in the first cluster survived, but with different price points. We go to the first add-on, and that comes from Maxine Waters. $25,000 for the purchase of your first home. I don't think it survived, but we do know that the other provisions that are around it did. She wanted to provide you $25,000 for the purchase price of your first home. I don't think that number survived, and I don't know if the provision itself survived. I don't think it did. But the great news is that everything around it, which is housing, it did survive. Rent, utilities, home repairs. We just saw one if you live in a low-income community, and we see another one coming up right now, which is home, weatherizing your home that survived. Let's go to the second cluster of checks. Let's go over the status of where they are right now at noontime. Here we go. Family leave out, medical leave out, household tax credit, child tax credit in there, pre-kindergarten in, community college out. The money for weatherizing your home survived. I mean, you definitely have to weatherize your home. You have to weatherize your home all year long. You have to weatherize it. But you definitely need to weatherize your home before Halloween, because you never know when Chris and Sinema will come knocking. Lock the doors. Close it. We don't celebrate Halloween here. Christensen, if you do talk to Kristen Sinema, ask her trick or treat. You know the answer is going to be, I haven't made a decision. Come back with me in a few months. I'll give you a better answer. And then if you say Joe Manchin, trick or treat, his answer is going to be call. There we go. Let's go to the second cluster, the second add-on. And it got in there. It's a great one. It's a huge one. Number one, this is a campaign promise from the President of the United States. Number two, this came from Bob Casey as well. And it's really, really huge. It is free home health care if you're a senior or a person on disability. This is big, and they wanted it at a little bit more. They wanted $250. It's likely not at $250. It's likely about a number smaller. I'm going to show you later in the third cluster. They got it in there. Again, free money for seniors and also for disabilities, free home health care. Let's go to the third cluster, and you're going to be surprised. This is where the big battleground is. Some in, some out. Let's see where the status is today. And you're going to hear me do something different I've never done before. In the third cluster, there's one item I never read on camera because it doesn't concern you. I'm going to read it right today. Why? Because it concerns something happening next week. So in the third cluster, free school meals for all survived. And I have new details about the numbers for the first time ever laying this recording. Prescription medication, cheaper, out. Immigration reform. Yeah, you never heard me say this on camera before. It's in the third cluster. I never recorded it because it doesn't concern you. It's in there, but could be big problems for next week, and that money could be reallocated to us. Yeah. Farmers, I think it's out. The free internet, I don't know. It may be out. Clean energy, out. Workers, I think it's out. Independent contractors. And then the seniors, Medicare expansion. Let me explain that all on camera right now. That has a lot. First part of the Medicare expansion was expanding Medicare to all 50 states. They had a problem that the Republican states were going to offer it for free and not pay for it. So the great work from Raphael Warnock from Georgia and Jim Claiborne from the Carolinas got the workaround to make sure it's in all states and that the Republican states have to pay for it. Number two, dropping the Medicare eligibility age from 65 to 55 if you're Bernie or 60 if you're Bob Casey. I don't think they got it done. I think we would have heard it because it's so important. Third, the dental vision hearing, only the hearing. You're going to hear a lot about this later in this video. I have a lot of breaking news about this. So let's go to the third add-on. The third add-on has so much at issue today, which is that MSC IRS stimulus check. The first thing that is big about that MSC IRS stimulus check today is you're going to see in the second half of this recording, 3 top people who are important for calling votes got together and were unhappy on Thursday. One of them was not Chuck Schumer. Good news for us. Big news. Why? Because Chuck Schumer is in charge of the Vote-A-Rama. Chuck Schumer told Donnie this week again, after he told Donnie's wife last week and told Debbie Applegate the week before and told another viewer, he's inserting a monthly stimulus check. Big news, because Chuck Schumer is not part of this sort of roads and bridges angry group at the moment. I'll explain them later in this video. Number two, we had Donnie also reaching out to Liz Warren's office again this week, her office saying she's still inserting it in there. And then we have another office, I can't remember which one it is, he reached out about that as well. What's important for this MSC is that there is a very fluid situation. The more fluid the situation is, the more open that they're still making modifications, with no less than 12 Democrats late in this video trying to add things in there. Big details for us. This is why you have to advocate. Let's go to that message from the chief of staff to the number one legislator for your recon. That message is to continue advocating. Let's look at what that message says, if I can find it. Maybe I can't. Maybe I can. I can't find it. Let's read it on air together. It says, now they have in total, between congressional senatorial offices, received more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power and the number of signatures in the American petition. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories. Now they have a better understanding of how people are making through the pandemic. They have heartbreaking stories from the LA viewers, and they have the voice of the people across the nation in you, LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Well, maybe I'm loud because of the costume. Very, very kind. Let's read the last sentence together on air. Please continue your encouragement for the continued advocacy as you have become the professional voice of the people in ULA, and continue to push until this becomes law. Very, very kind. Very important for us. We need to advocate. As Jennifer said in the live chat of several videos yesterday, interrogating viewers. I love it. She said, how many times have you called today? Absolutely. You can leave voice messages on the weekend. The senators saying that there's big gaps. We're far from over. We have a lot of work to be done. This is huge because this is big. Then you're going to learn something about the Senate parliamentarian. More money could be freed up, and that additional money could go to us. Very, very fluid situation. In the second half of this video, you're going to see a lot coming up. First, we're going to see why now 12 at least House and Senate Democrats saying there's a lot of missing gaps in this recon and we're not finished. You're going to see my analysis about why it was not finished on Thursday and why it has something to do with today's conference in Rome. LA told you so. Blocking the vote on the roads and bridges was not just Pramila, it was also the president's chief of staff. Yeah, you've never heard this before until today. The price is right, 1.75, but it could go higher. And guess what? Senator parliamentarian on Monday, Tuesday next week, part of the equation. Yes. Programs in, programs out. Which programs are coming back in and which programs could be added? The latest details. Student loan debt, more debt could be forgiven. I have those details and more. And then COLA, fifth stimulus is coming right behind that. Those details as the presence in Rome. I'm here. I'm not roaming anywhere. I'm looking for candy. Don't give me carrots and celery if I knock on your door. I'll be back with you in 50 seconds, 60 seconds. First, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m.
Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the exciting details at noontime is that while the president's in Rome, a deal still is not finished on the recon. Big, great news for you as more provisions are being added. You have the latest breaking details about a negotiations between Ron Klain and Pramila on Thursday. This is big. We haven't heard this before on this channel. This concerns the roads and bridges. Programs in and programs out. Which programs are in? The price tag will go higher if that Senate parliamentarian gives that particular ruling. I'll have the latest details on that. But which programs are in and which programs are out? I have the breaking details today. You're going to be shocked as I have new details about numbers, and I also have new details about eligibility. Student loan debt forgiveness, more debt could be forgiven. Whose debts could be forgiven? I have those details as well. And then as we go into a big afternoon show, we have the potential of more fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus raising your benefits up 2 more times after COLA. Those details and more as the president's in Rome. I'm here. And, Chris and Sinema running from candy. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers to YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is the 1 o'clock afternoon show, and then the 3. Stay here. The video will automatically take you to the next afternoon show. Let's go over all the incredible details that no one saw coming, and it's incredible. Bernie Sanders on Friday said that there's major gaps in this recon that need to be fixed. Well, that was just Bernie. There was also Nancy, and there was also Gothenheimer, who the 3 of them said they were adding provisions to the recon, even though it looked like it may have been done on Thursday. The breaking details at noontime is that the recon 1 is not done. Number 2, we have 12 plus House and Senate Democrats saying they're making major overhaul to the recon still. This is huge. Let's go over what happened and why. Let's first go over what the quotes say, and then I'll explain to you why it happened. Deal happening or not happening? Let me give you the details. Here are the quotes coming in on a weekend. Can you imagine so many of them on a weekend? Ron Wyden, Democrat, Senator, Oregon, says the deal is not done until the Senate acts. Wow, yes. He says, more specifically, there's a significant amount still to be done. Oh, boy. Then we had Chris Coons saying, of course, there's going to be dozens of proposals from folks trying to add things in there. Then we have Pramila, who says senators are actually texting me to say they still want to negotiate. Oh, boy. And she says her phone is off the hook. If the senators are able to come to a decision that is better with 50 votes, then we welcome it, and they should do that work. AOC says the negotiations are continuing. She says, I haven't heard, House Democrats haven't really heard any sort of commitment into what the Senate is actually going to be able to pass, but there's openness and willingness to negotiate. And what that certainly looks like, we need to do a little bit more of that. Then Debbie Stabenow, Democrat from Michigan, Senator, says it's possible that more things are being modified. And there's a big one coming right now. You saw in that first part of the recording, I went over and I mentioned the part where I said immigration reform in the third cluster. I never usually say that on camera because it doesn't concern you. It was in there, passed in the subcommittee. It survived the negotiations. Well, will it survive this week? We learned today that Chuck Schumer told his insiders that he's worried the Senate parliamentarian will review the recon and its modifications this week and take it out. Yes, he still has to put the recon again back to the Senate parliamentarian again, and she may take it out. If she takes it out, guess where that money goes? It can go to other programs. Huge. Then Bob Menendez, who I featured a lot on this channel, he says that a lot of provisions can get modified. And then finally, Murphy says, my impression is that there will be some modifications. He's from Connecticut. So what happened? And let's read the comment from Bernie before we understand what happened. There's a 12 plus Democratic progressives, both House and Senate, today saying big gaps, major changes need to be happening. And that is huge because guess what? Every newsroom has tried to send, is usually closed on the weekend, but those that are not closed, they're in Rome. Everyone called into the newsroom 2 weeks ago saying, I want to be assigned to Rome. You don't want to stay here? Everyone at CNN. Do you want to choose Atlanta or Rome, Italy? Nene leaks of the Pope, I'll take the Pope. So everyone in CNN is in Rome. And yet, despite that, you have this avalanche of news coming in on a weekend from those senators and House members who are not in session until back on Monday, saying, I wanted these modifications. Bernie said much the same on Friday. He said it's the best bill since the 1960s, but there's major gaps. That's a quote, major gaps. American people are sick and tired of paying a higher prescription medication. There's no language in there dealing with it. I'm glad for the expansion of hearing care, but we need other things for dental and eyeglasses. So before the vote happens in the House, they need to be explicit language about all these things to make a good bill better. Bernie, are you supporting it? I cannot answer that question. I'm going to make a good bill better. I'm not going to answer that question. But are you going to add provisions? Of course I am. Paid leave and medical leave needs to be in there as well. But we also need dental, vision, and prescription medication. It's unconscionable that every year senators talk about doing these provisions and we don't take care of it. Wow, that is a lot. So let me explain to you what's going on, and you won't hear this anywhere else except here. This morning, Jim Carrey gave an interview about the mask. No, John Kerry, your climate czar, the special envoy for the president to climate, the former senator and the former presidential candidate. So he gave a very long interview. It was 1 hour. It was not on broadcast media. It was on a smaller channel. And I listened to it. You listen to that, you put it with the recon, and then suddenly you understand what happened. Thursday, you saw the President of the United States addressing the American people, making it look like the recon agreement had been reached. Why did he do that? Here you go. Here's exclusive analysis you're only hearing on this channel. The president did that because he had to, because he was going to the conference in Rome today. And if he didn't do that, he wouldn't get anything achieved out of other countries if he doesn't show good face for them, or at least good faith for them. What's at issue? The Rome conference is not nominal. It's very, very important and concerns the next 20 years. It concerns cutting climate emissions, carbon emissions, and things like that around the globe over the next 10 to 20 years. Every country is going into this meeting agreeing to at least 50%. The EU, like 75%, very, very high. England, I think it's 50, 55, 60%. US, I think it's 55 or 56%. So the president and all those countries are going in there saying, our country did this, our country did that. President, however, doesn't have a bill. Just imagine the delegate from Japan saying, I watch LALATE, and I'm going to use the emoji, Mr. President. Not bill yet, not law yet. Darn LA, the president was going to say. No, the president was illegally walk in there, and they're going to say, you don't have a law, Mr. President. You don't have a bill. What do you have? You have Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. No, I solved that. I have an agreement. Did you see the press conference on Thursday? I have an agreement. We've agreed we're going to do it. It's just a formality. We just got to call for a vote. As soon as we come back home, Jill is going to make some pasta, and then I'll call the vote, and we're done. It's just a formality. That's what he wanted to make it seem, because it's very important, not just for us, but for them. All these countries meeting are 80% of the carbon producers around the globe. So they all want to cut stuff. They have to agree to cut it back at home. And he can't cut stuff unless he shows that there was some type of agreement. Wow. So, deal happening? Yes. Deal done? No. Bernie on Friday saying major gaps. Now we see it was more about sending the president off to Europe with the imagery of that he had something good. But as soon as he comes back, negotiations continue. Can you imagine on a weekend, you've been with me on the weekends, where news cycles are potentially not always robust if they're not in session. They're not in session. They're not back in session until Monday. But all these massive quotes coming over the weekend, when the newsrooms are generally closed or they're all overseas in Rome. It's big, folks. And let's tell you something else big. Ron Klain. Who's Ron Klain? He is the president's chief of staff. He with the president was on my not good list last week after we thought the president called the vote on the roads and bridges, or that Ron Klain called the vote on the roads and bridges. Now we're learning it's the opposite. What? Breaking news at noontime. Ron Klain, we're now learning, is tight as thieves with the progressives and not close to the moderate Democrats. A new report out today says that Ron Klain talks to Pramila nearly every day and rarely, if ever, has talked with the moderate Democrats. He doesn't get along with them. So we now learn that Pramila met with Ron Klain by phone several times before that Thursday attempt to vote on the roads and bridges, told him, don't do it. He said, I'm not doing it. He then reportedly told the President of the United States, Joe Biden, not to ask for a vote on the roads and bridges Thursday. Then, Thursday morning, you remember what happened on air? I was live. The president went to those meetings with the Democrats, said, they got two really good bills. We got roads and bridges and we got recon. And Steny Hoyer, Jim Clyburn, and Nancy Pelosi reportedly were standing there grinding their teeth, displeased. Why? We now hear that Steny Hoyer said to someone, not on the record, but said to someone, it all boils down to the fact that there wasn't an ask for the president to call a vote on the roads and bridges. Why? Because of Ron Klain. Ron Klain told the president, don't vote on the roads and bridges today. Then Jalapal had told us that on Thursday afternoon. The president made really clear he likes the legislation, but the president didn't ask for a vote. It was Speaker Pelosi. Wow. After the president got on the plane to go to Rome, 3 people met. Who didn't meet? This is very important. The 3 people who met were Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, the majority leader in the House, and Majority Whip Jim Clyburn. They were all enraged. The president did not say vote on the roads and bridges today. She thought that's what the meeting was about. She thought the president was coming in saying, please, progressives, vote on the roads and bridges. He, in fact, did the opposite because of Klain's tight-knit with Pramila. Why am I excited about this? Because guess who's not part of the 3? Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer was not upset about this. 1, it doesn't concern him. 2, he's not on board with this. Chuck Schumer is a progressive. So this is big for you and your recon, the MSC, and all this a part of the equation because it's Pelosi and Steny Hoyer and Jim Clyburn that were trying to do the roads and bridges. Not going to happen. Wow. There you go. So with that, let's go into the provisions. Ones that survive, one that does not survive. We have new details right now. We have new items about the provisions, and we have new insight. First, Bernie said on Friday that it's very important to get this Medicare expansion done and the cheaper prescription medication. Let me go over first what's in there, then I'm going to go to that part. A few things I got to say. First, the president of the United States, he's not expected to get everything right. So when he has a press briefing, he's going to leave things out. Number 2, his cabinet members are expected to get things right, like Janet Yellen. Everyone loves her, Treasury Secretary. She got it wrong. Friday, she kept on saying, lifetime, generational, transformative. No, it's 12 months. A lot of these programs, she just misunderstood when they were running. Most of these programs are 12 months. Number 3, I'm seeing new eligibility numbers and new calculations I never saw before. So I'm very excited for this because this is breaking news you're hearing for the first time at noontime. All right, pre-kindergarten, totally free 3 and 4-year-olds. This is 1 year for 3 and 4-year-olds pre-kindergarten, and this will help 6 million children, Americans nationwide. Childcare, they expanded that. Then the CTC, the child tax credit. $3,600 to $3,000. This is new. This is brand new right now in this recording. I had told you they had tried to expand it and have it for more families, not just families for $60,000 or less. This report I'm looking at says they expanded it to households that make $150,000. I don't know if this is accurate, but this is a big difference. $60,000 annual salary versus $150,000. Very, very different. Their income tax credit brought in the eligibility that 1 more year. Remember that? I covered that earlier in this video. The home health care for people who are seniors and people on disability. Reports say it's floating through Medicare. It would be paid through Medicare. Excuse me. Medicaid. It will be paid through Medicaid. I do not know if it'll be paid also through Medicare. Hearing services will be paid through Medicare, but I do not know if it's also Medicaid. We also know that there'll be $150 billion to expand the housing. And this is the repairs we talked about earlier in this video. A construction, rehab, and improvement for more than 1 million affordable homes. The Pell Grant increased by $550 for 5 million students. Then I have a little bit more details about the free school meals. This will be free school meals for all students when in school during the school year, and then $65 per month additionally per child when they are home during the school break, when they're not in school. Okay, now let's go to the prescription medication and the dental, vision, hearing, because this is very bizarre. It starts with a cheaper prescription medication. All right, let's sit back because this is very weird. Programs in, programs out. You're going to be surprised on this one. On Wednesday, midday, we had in there the cheaper prescription medication for people on Medicare Plan B, which is diabetes and insulin. Very, very expensive. It was in there. The president over several months had been negotiating with Kristen Sinema to expand it to other plans. She said no. Big pharma's in her pockets. President made the call Wednesday evening. Tried to expand it beyond just Medicare Plan B. Sinema finally agrees. Groundbreaking. Big achievement to expand it beyond just Medicare Plan B. We wake up Thursday morning. It's all gone. Poof. What do you mean all gone? You mean they expanded? They did not expand it? They not only did not expand it, but the Medicare Plan B, gone. No one is telling us who removed it. It wasn't Sinema. She agreed to expand it. It wasn't Joe Biden. He got expanded. It wasn't Joe Manchin. He's not against it. It wasn't Pelosi. It wasn't Bernie. Who removed it? No one's explaining. Bernie Sanders' reaction, Americans are being ripped off. We're paying 10% more than other countries, and we have 15 paid lobbyists who are doing this to keep it blocked. Any bill must have real Medicare expansion negotiations for lower prescription. He's putting it in there. Number two gets even stranger. He says we're the wealthiest country in the world, but people have no teeth in their mouth. They cannot hear and they cannot see. We need those in there. Okay, dental, vision, and hearing. This is even stranger. Dental, vision, and hearing. At the time of this recording, hearing is in there for seniors. Now, if you look at dental, vision, and hearing, dental the most expensive, and vision the cheapest. Well, if vision is the cheapest, why is vision not in there? Vision, $100 for new glasses each year, $50 for an eye exam each year. That's $150. That helps a lot of people because a lot of people need vision in their 50s. Hearing helps less people, maybe over 70, and that's more expensive. It's not $100 for hearing aids, it's a lot more expensive. So you would presume they would have put the vision in there first because it's cheaper than the hearing. Not clear. Who put the hearing in there? Not clear. Who didn't put the vision in there? Not clear. Then the teeth. Very bizarre. The teeth was originally 10 years for Bernie. The president said, I'm not doing 10 years. Take it down. Then the president said, we'll do it at 3 years. Bernie said, Then Pelosi said there's an implementation problem. She wanted it in there. So then she said, let's do $800 vouchers. What happened? $800 vouchers, gone. 3 years, gone. Nothing in there. Nothing for dental? Very peculiar. This is why the situation is very, very fluid across the board. We don't know how things are getting taken out. Sometimes we know who doesn't want something in there, and that is like a Joe Manchin for paid leave. But other times, we don't know how the provisions got removed. Let's go over some of the other provisions right now, which are first, the child tax credit. This is very bizarre. First of all, here's a little bit of opinion. My opinion is if you're making $150,000 a year, which is a lot of money as a married couple, you should not be getting a check to take care of your child for $3,600. That is too much. I thought it was $60,000 or less, which is low income. $150,000 and you're getting a $3,600 check for your child? No. That is a waste of resources. They should have kept that $60,000. Now, I don't know if that report is wrong. That's $150,000. Free community college out. Pell's Grant, additional money for $550 and now tax-free. The paid leave, it's a disgrace not to have paid leave in there. What is paid leave? Your wife is pregnant. You need to stay home from work to see the birth of your son. Guess what? At the moment, if you have to do that, it's on your penny. What? We're the only country in the globe where we don't get paid leave. Let's give another example. You're a single dad to a son and your son broke his leg. You have to stay home to take care of your son. Guess what? It's on your penny. There's no paid leave in this paid medical leave in this country. Well, what did Pelosi propose? She proposed it in there. This is a presidential campaign. This is a Pelosi promise. Everyone wants this in there, well, except Joe Manchin. She wanted 12 weeks for everyone, all income levels, all wealth levels, whether self-employed and gig workers. And she went for a decade, $500 billion, too expensive. So then they brought it down to 4 weeks, low income only, $100 billion, very, very low. $100 billion is nothing for a program. I didn't like that it was only employees, W-2s. It should also be 1099s, gig workers like, a plumber, electrician, or Uber or Lyft driver. Then Joe Manchin said, take it out. That is why it came out. Why did it have to come out because of him? Not particularly clear. But at least with that one, we know why it's gone, as opposed to the other provisions. We don't know why it was removed. Well, prescription medication all out at the moment. Childcare, they got that in there. Good. Clean energy out. Health insurance. I have always these nice viewers send me messages on Instagram saying, make sure they put it in there. They got it in there. Housing aid, got it in there. Rent, utilities, the home repairs, $175 billion. It's a lot. Third stimulus was only $47 billion. So this is a lot of money. And the in-home health care, good. $100 to $200 billion. Right. We also have two other people who said they're going to make changes. Pelosi said she's going to make changes, and Gothenheimer, he wants to do the SALT. Very, very helpful provision. This is lifting the cap on the state and local tax deduction. Very helpful if you're in big states like California, New York, New Jersey, where he is, Texas, Florida. Very, very helpful provision across the board. In a second, I'm going to give you my impression of the situation. It's very, very fluid. Stay with me. But now let's cut over to student loan debt. More debt could be forgiven. The president has offered to forgive $15,000 of student loan debt across the board. The Democrats should take it. It would be by executive order, would not go by recon. The president forgave 3 rounds already. First, people who became disabled after graduation. Then, people who work for 10 years in the nonprofit sector. And finally, for people who work in the public sector for 10 years after graduation. That's if you work for the city, the county, the state, the federal government, the Mardi Gras Corps. Yeah. We'll forgive you. We'll forgive the mass. We'll forgive your student loan debts. They should take the remaining $10,000. Then guess what? Your benefits are going up. You already got that letter from Social Security Administration. 5.9% or whatever approximately it is, but get ready for fifth stimulus. It's right behind it. And there's always someone who says, why are we talking about fifth stimulus? We haven't done fourth stimulus. Because they do a lot of bodies of legislation at the same time. House Budget Chairman John Yarmuth, Democrat from Kentucky, says force the Republicans to vote against it by recon. I don't see the downside to an election year because we're trying to do things that are really popular. So you're getting a lift of your benefits under COLA, but there'll be 2 more lifts under fifth stimulus right behind it. First, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security Rural benefits, veterans benefits, or multiple benefits, your benefits would go up a second time as soon as it becomes law. 1 lift, a special lift for just fifth stimulus recon. The third lift will be every December when they apply the new benchmark. Jerome Powell will be testifying on Capitol Hill, your Fed chair, next week. I could have recorded 20 videos about inflation last week. It's a very fluid situation. The fluidness of it at the moment is that it's not transitory. It's not temporary. Inflation's going up. It's going to get worse, and then it's going to come a little bit down, but it's not temporary. It's going to be 1 to 3% next year, and that's why you want fifth stimulus. That's going to give you that additional new benchmark that will replace COLA. They're going to remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? Become a member. The membership link is under the video. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP, and get that newsletter sent out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, from me to you via YouTube and the LALATE alert system at news.la.com/alerts, which is also in the description of this video. Third stimulus, still paying out. Got money from before? get another round. People are getting multiple rounds. Average view of this channel has gotten $40,000 from third stimulus. As soon as fourth stimulus becomes law, I should have had to get that money as well. But third stimulus, still paying out for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, SNAP, food, clothing, homeless people into shelters, small appliances, this is nonprofits, and home repairs. Consider becoming a member and get that newsletter as well. As we go into a big afternoon, let me give you my impression of the situation. People say these commentaries help them because it sort of brings it all together. And my impression of the situation is that the president needed a message when he was going to Rome that his country was committed to fund cutting carbon fuel emissions. He needed to show it because how could he turn to Japan and say, Japan, are you doing anything? Japan saying, I have that LALATE emoji. You haven't done a bill. You haven't done a law yet. He had to do something. And that was why he did the press conference on Thursday. That's why he ramped it up so that this weekend in Rome is not a waste of time. It's a very important conference, and it's very important for our future as a family. But once the president's back on U.S. soil, get ready. The conference over. The conference is over. The commitment to the conference is over. The negotiations post-conference happening, but then it's back to the negotiations. We've seen Saturdays and Sundays on this channel. Sometimes it's sort of a robust, sometimes it's very robust, but we've never had a Saturday, Sunday where the broadcast channel anchors are out of the country. They're in Rome. The print and news reporters in Rome. And yet here are the senators sending out as many messages as they can saying, get ready. Major gaps, quote Bernie. A lot of work to be done still, Ron Wyden. A lot of changes coming, Chris Coons. A lot of things happening. That's good for you. It may have seemed confusing on Thursday where you thought maybe the recon is closed. Maybe it's done up. Maybe that's it. No. We're not even at the vote-a-rama stage. Let me make this very clear. We're not at the vote-a-rama stage. We're before it, which is good. Weekend, voicemails work. Pick up the phone and make those calls. As Jennifer would say, how many times have we called today? There's room for a stimulus check. There's room for 2 stimulus checks. There's rooms to add more items in there. Room to fix the prescription medication, the dental, the vision and hearing. Put the paid leave in there and the medical leave. Add other items back in there, like the $25,000 for the purchase of a new home. There's room to get things in this recon. That's before the Senate parliamentarian potentially rules on provisions that have to come out. The provisions come out, then the money's still there. It can be reallocated. 100, 200, 300 billion. There's room to change the number. The number's fluid. No one agreed to the number. And now, for the first time ever on Noontime, you see this dichotomy. The president, his chief of staff, and Pramila, all really focused on the recon. One of the things I want to make clear, because I've never made it clear on this channel before until today, is that the roads and bridges, it doesn't do a lot very quickly. It's a very slow-moving legislation. What? Well, it's building roads and fixing roads over 10, 20 years. Paying for it over 10, 20 years, creating jobs for it over 10, 20 years. It's very, very, very slow. So there's no urgency about the roads and bridges. Every time you hear Nancy and Steny Hoyer saying, we got to call for a vote, why? It's a program that goes really slowly over 10 years. No one is going to get a job out of it the next few months. No one's going to get any money out of it over many, many months. No bridge is going to get fixed over many, many months. It's a very slow-moving program. And that is why the roads and bridges never was a priority for the president. It wasn't. It was the recon. You remember the quote from this channel several weeks ago. The president always told the progressives, protect the progressive priorities in the recon because of the president's priorities. And with that, you now see, with this exclusive analysis, with the Kerry interview today, and the importance of this Rome conference, why the president tried to make it look like there was a deal. The deal is close, but not finished. Room to add stuff, and they will be adding stuff, and they can still add more of your stuff as well. Coming up next is the 1 o'clock afternoon's LATE show. Then we have the 3 o'clock afternoon's LATE show. Tonight, the continuation of a new thing on this channel, the 3-hour binge watching block, but a little bit even better tonight. 5, 6, and 7. 5 o'clock will be Evenings LA, brand new. Then 6 o'clock will be Evenings Countdown. And then 7 o'clock will be Stream Stimulus. Not an early 2021 video, a video from just this week. And then later tonight at 8 o'clock will be an encore performance of Sirloin from Rome. If you missed Sirloin from Rome yesterday, he's returning back tonight. An encore performance at 8 o'clock. You got a 4-hour programming block. Then we got shows at 9, 10, 11, 30, 3 and 3:30 a.m. about your Force Stimulus Recon as well. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcerino, VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful noontime, and stay with LA for more.